Conflicts don't begin with violence. They begin in language, through the stories people tell about who belongs and who does not, who is blamed when things go wrong, and who must be feared because somebody must be. Over time, these stories harden, circulate, and begin to feel inevitable. In this episode, I'm joined by Hauwa Noroh Ali, a strategic communication specialist, former journalist, and storyteller whose life and work has been shaped by the complex histories of Plateau State. Together, we will talk about identity under pressure, the role of media and digital spaces in amplifying division, and the quiet power of storytelling to soften hardened lines. This is a conversation about belonging, voice, and how telling different stories can create room for understanding where conflict once seemed fixed. Hauwa Noroh Ali is a communications and storytelling professional whose work is grounded in journalism and explores the relationship between media, identity, and public meaning. She holds a degree in English and linguistics, and she is a Prince 2 certified practitioner and an associate member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. She began her career in broadcasting and rose to become head of the economic desk and online business editor at the Voice of Nigeria. She currently works in corporate communications within Nigeria's development finance space. Shaped by her Fulani and Birom heritage, her writing and commentary over the last few years have focused on how stories can deepen division or create a space for understanding and peace. So, Hauwa, before we talk about media and strategy, I want to begin with place. When you think about Plateau, not as a conflict zone, but as home, what do you see, hear, or remember first?
So, Richard, you've just stereotyped me and put me as a Fulani and a Birom. I am a proper Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian in the context that I have grown, I've moved around. I have several names from several places. So I could be a Morenike, I could be an Ibiwe, I could be an Nkechinyere. So it is not basically just the Plateau. On the Plateau, we have so many languages that people don't really know. I think it's one of the states in Nigeria that has the most languages.
Yeah, 56.
So 56. So you cannot be, and you cannot have even lived in Plateau and not have been influenced by it. So when I think about the Plateau, I think about it as home. There's this saying, they say home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
So that is my home. Everything that is me, everything about me is the Plateau. I am black, like the people on the Plateau. I love food, like the people of the Plateau. When I hear people say, oh, Gwete is not, you've not taken Gwete before. If you've taken Gwete, like I tell people, when you come to the Plateau, and you've gone for a party and your friend did not give you Gwete, sorry,
no.
That person does not like you. So, but coming back to it, Plateau is a place where there are values, there's culture, there's tradition. It's rich in all of this. Stories, me growing up outside headlines, outside conflicts, outside everything, drinking amora, eating ridi, watching some people eat snails as they're wriggling and putting it in their mouths. It's, as I said, it's home. It's where the heart is. It's full, love. My mom is Birom. Growing up in the Birom society, there's, because I'm a daughter of a Birom woman, I'm called a Birom. The rights I have in my grandfather or my uncle's house is something else. Anything I want, I am given. I enter, there's a chicken there, I want the chicken, I pick it. Someone beats me, I go to my uncle's house and they come. So I've seen family, I've seen values, I've seen love. So if you ask me about the Plateau, I will tell you home. It is home to me, and it is where my heart is.
Wow, thank you very much. That's a lovely way to start this conversation. Still on the issue of language, what kind of language did you grow up hearing around difference? You've told us how it was, growing up, but what kind of language did you grow up hearing around difference, about neighbors, a sense of belonging, about land, for example? And when did you first notice that the language was beginning to harden, into groups, stereotypes, and all of that?
It's funny when I tell people that I learned Hausa in secondary school, a lot of people don't believe me. Yes, we had Hausa neighbors, we could interact, but we didn't speak Hausa, we spoke English. They spoke some sort of broken English, and we spoke some sort of broken Hausa, and we communicated. Before 2001, if you ask me if there was a divide in Plateau, I would tell you no. Because I didn't know who was a Muslim, I didn't know who was a Christian, I didn't know who was from whatever tribe. All I was looking forward to, is it Pusdum? Let's go and eat your food. Is it in Zembirom? Let's go.
Yeah.
Is it to go to Nantang and see all those leopard skin stuff?
Yes.
Yes, you want to go there. So when people begin to talk, maybe I'm from that generation that our parents, there was unity.
Yeah.
And then fortunately for me, I went to a unity school where I met another kaleidoscope, a mixture of different types of people. So I couldn't understand how somebody would tell me I am not a Angas, I am not this, or Anga this. It is in our differences, our diversity that gave us the strength. The plateau is built on all those diversities. Some parts don't have salt. Some parts don't have palm oil. They go, let's bring salt from here. Let's get palm oil from here. Oh, the Birom man has acha and rice. He says, I don't have yam. The man in Kwampan has yam. Where do we meet? Where do we get this? So it was that interwoven thing for me. Then 2001, someone says, this one is Muslim. You're not Muslim enough. You're not Christian enough. You're not Birom enough. You're not Angas enough. You're not this. So before then, it was not a thing that I would think or even ponder about.
So 2001 was that rupture, that shock. How did you feel, when you saw, there's this famous painting, where there's a titan drawing itself apart. It's a famous painting. How did you feel in 2001 with all this happening on the plateau?
So in 2001, I was stuck in a crisis coming from school. I was stuck, and I didn't sleep at home on the first day. I was offered refuge by people I had never met, and found my way home. Like up to today, I cannot consciously tell you how I got home, but I know I got home the next day.
Wow.
And when I got home, my own house too had become a refugee camp.
Oh dear.
People were sleeping in the garage, people were sleeping in the parlor,
Wow.
people were even some people were sleeping in the cars that were in the compound. That was how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then people now started calling from Abuja, let's bring food. They put security, bring food. That's how we're able to survive. But, did I feel the impact? No, for me it was more of, we're all in some sort of trouble. That was the first time. Maybe I lived a too sheltered life growing up. That's what probably my parents did for us. So I did not see a lot of all those conflicts and everything. But for me, that was the first experience. And for me, I saw love. Because people that were not family, people that were family, they would share, we have rice in our house. Take. They brought me tomato from this, so it's plenty. Come and take. So there was still that community. I didn't really see the divide, but it was just like a drop in the ocean. And that's where you now start hearing narratives. You have to be two Birom, you have to be two Angas, you have to be two Miriam, you have to be two Ankwe.
And it just got worse.
And it just,
it's a ripple effect. You yourself, you've written openly about living across both the Birom and the Fulani identities. Mm-hmm. We've spoken about that. So my question now is, how does conflict force people like you who embody the very complexity that people would wish to simplify? How does it force people like you to choose sides, even when none of the sides fully represents you?
So I'm laughing because I still remember, go back to, probably that 2001 that maybe I've not said so much about in writing. When that happened, I get to my Birom side of the family and there are conversations going on. Everybody, keep quiet. She's Fulani, she might take our secrets to those Fulanis. You get to the Fulani side of the family and they're like, shh. She's too Birom, So you now find, at this part, you're not Birom enough. You're not Fulani enough. So what do? I literally went to my mom and I said, Mommy, please, Birom should remove their blood. Fulani should remove their blood. I'm tired. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, it seems that there are a lot of us, because one thing that has no religion, no borders is love.
Indeed.
We have a lot of people who married across borders, across boundaries.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, fine. Those of us that are like that, let's form our own community and leave this one and do all those things. But apart from then, I never felt different.
Yeah.
And maybe it's how I approached it, that it just got to a point that this one is good people, this one is this. Because when I threw that outburst, I was like, everybody should come and take his blood. I think reality sunk. Because a lot of times we don't speak out. We just keep it inside. We just say, this is what's happening to me. If I say it, who will I say it to? But you just need to say it and someone needs to listen. Yeah. Maybe I was lucky to have a family that actively listened to our voices.
Yeah.
So I got the assurance that, look, it's not that we don't like you, or it's not that we're saying all this. We are all one.
Yeah.
But circumstances have made us to begin to doubt each other. But you see, whatever it is, we are one.
Yeah. I think and that's at the center of what we're trying to do. These borders are always artificial, and we must always continually engage these borders. That's what we try to do, and it's extremely important. So my next question is still on this issue of identity, where identity groups it's no longer about relationships, but about defending one thing against the other thing. It quickly becomes what is normally love between one person and another. I love you, I don't love you, I love you, I love the other person. Something that is fluid, something that is simple, something that is relational suddenly becomes, I can't love you because of that reason. So when identity becomes defensive rather than relational, what do you think gets lost? Not just, of course, in terms of social fracture, but emotionally and, ethics.
So you see, when that happens, empathy gets lost. The good story, it's even easy. The story of the Good Samaritan. Today's Sunday, if I touch him, I'll be clean. Today is this.
Yes.
So that's what happens.
Empathy. Yeah.
As far as it's not I see someone who is stealing money because he's my, in quotes, brother. No, we're not going to talk about it. I see someone who is killing somebody, and because, he's my own, we begin to lose our values. Society begins to suffer. You cannot marry this person because we're fighting with the person. We inherit, I call it witchcraft. We inherit things that are not, enemies that we have no business inheriting. So when all these things come together, society suffers. Children like me become, in quotes, dysfunctional. We become broken. We take all this into our relationships, not just marriage, relationships with others.
Yeah.
And then we bring things that should not come to play. And in a society that is broken, what do you expect? In a society that has no empathy, what do you expect? So we come there all, oh, it's me, I'm more superior than you are. I'm looking down at you. And I have kids. I now begin to indoctrinate them. So it becomes who owns the narrative? Who tells the narrative? The way I tell you, I went to serve in Abia, and what I was told was, they've not forgotten. Don't come back with an Igbo man.
Yes.
They've not forgotten the civil war.
Oh, wow.
You will suffer. I met someone in Abia. His mother said, "Where are you from?" When I told her, she looked at me. She said, "You're a fine girl." I said, "Thank you, ma." "You're a very well-behaved girl." I said, "Thank you, ma." She said, "But if you run away with our children, it will take me 4 market days to bring them back."
To bring them back.
Did you not see any village around you to find a woman to pick? Why are you going down north to go and get a woman?
Oh my God.
So it's something as simple as that.
Yeah.
But then she also said something that at that point I felt bad, but right now when I think about it, she said, "You are a first son. You owe tradition. How do you bring another person's tradition into our own when you can find somebody who you would work with?" There will be conflicts. The differences are there. We have fought a war that has set some precedents that are yet to be taken away.
Yeah.
And it is because I love you. I do not want you to have a wife that will run away with my grandchildren. So please, look in the neighboring villages. You will find somebody.
Oh dear. Oh
you
dear.
know. So in something as little as that, you see that narratives are there. People are not willing to change. They say change is the only thing that is constant in life. But we are not. We're afraid of the unknown. We don't want change. I want to remain in my spot. I want to say, oh, okay, because I'm Fulani, the man must do, they must come and beat him so that I will know he's capable of taking me. Or because my mother is Birom, you must bring that horse.
Yes.
You must come and farm for 5 years before we marry. Fill the barn with food. You know. But things change. Now nobody farms. They say, calculate it, how much? Oh yeah, take. Is it enough? Okay. Horse. You know that nobody rides us again now. So we can give you bicycle or give you machine. Or in short, just calculate everything, monetize and give.
Yeah.
But you see, in those days, also the thing about young girls getting married, the boys' friends and the girls' friends have some squabbles, like, oh, 10 naira, 20 naira, is to get to know themselves, get to know identities. But now everybody's like, oh, those ones are... They're not standard. I just can't. You know. So, but it's like that. We're losing all of that. We're losing our beauty. We're losing our diversity. We're losing what makes us Africans.
So that basically, from what you've said, all right, there's a sense of threat. There's a sense of being threatened, even though there's nothing particularly that threatens you, but there's this certainty of threat, that there's a danger here, there's a danger there. Sometimes
there's
these are historical, unspoken. Yes.
So it's not. It's like you enter somewhere.
Yeah.
They will tell you rather dine with a Yoruba man than an Igbo man, or you rather do this with an Igbo man than a Fulani man, or a Fulani man does not forgive. An Igbo man is materialistic. Yoruba man is a munafiki. I'm trying to look for what munafiki is. You know, like that. But when you meet those people, they're not like that.
Yes.
But it's a narrative that's been sold. That's why I said, who is telling the story? Why is the person telling the story?
Yes.
How is the person telling the story?
Yeah, these are extremely important. So let's talk about moments of tension. You know, so in moments of very heightened tension, people tend to retreat to very simplified or nuanced versions of themselves, which perhaps is the one thing they shouldn't do. So let's talk about what does it cost a society when this sort of complexity, mixed identities, long history of good and bad, you know, shared vulnerabilities, for example, when it is treated as a threat rather than a resource. We speak of unity and diversity, but the ingredients of unity and diversity are the very things that we're jettisoning and we're throwing overboard. You know, so so what does it cost a society when this sort of simplifications happen at the large scale?
You know, like the way the porcupine is. The porcupine, when it sees a threat, it rolls into a ball and brings out itself.
The quills, yeah.
So it's just human nature. It's not just a Nigerian thing, it's not just a Plateau thing. It's just human nature that when we get stressed up, we find what generally will not stress us. And in doing that, we keep quiet to the things that we shouldn't keep quiet about. Where we should talk, nobody wants to be the first to talk. I remember a situation that I was dancing up and down, and we were like, oh, we're going to complain.
Yeah.
Everybody, we all got out, we were all marching, we were complaining, protesting.
Yeah.
Then Simopol, I looked left, nobody was there. I looked right, nobody was there. I was the only
you're the only one.
I said, how did I get into this? You know, so everybody is afraid to say something.
Yeah.
You have very few people who are ready to stick up their neck. I will not say we are. Yes, some of us, or part of us, is the selfish generation that we think only of ourselves.
Yeah.
We think about vested interest. So we go, we find what suits us, and we stay there. We find what is safe. And then our society also, the people who whistle blow, the people who stand up for the people, what reaction do they get? Do they get support? Or do they get condemnation?
Yeah. Are they left alone?
Or are they left alone? So if today I say I'm going to take a cause and champion it, and everywhere I go, they tell me I am the problem of my people. They tell me it is because of me things are happening.
Yeah.
I will just get to a point, my comfort zone,
Yes.
become the porcupine, open my quills and stay, so that I'm not ready to have conversations with you. I'm ready to attack.
Yeah.
Once you come, pew.
The country of porcupines.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in what you're saying. I'm ready. I'm in self-preservation. I want to preserve myself. So if you say you want to come because this, you've already put me in this spot. That's so. 3/4 of Nigerians are like that.
Oh dear.
We are. The first thing you tell somebody, oh, that's not how my people are. You're not waiting to land. And because I'm already coming with a narrative, you're not waiting for me to end. You're already going on the defensive and saying, oh, this is what is happening. This is what it is. And that's how we end up.
Yeah. A nation of porcupines. I like that you mentioned narratives, because you've worked both inside newsrooms as well as in strategic communications in various capacities. So from this vantage point, from your vantage point, how do headlines, framings, narratives, even humor, how does it quietly inflame conflict without appearing violent?
So I will tell you, I'm pleading the fifth here in some places, because, once a journalist, always a journalist. I can't come and bring all our, in quotes, dirty laundry and put it here.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this. Newspapers need to be sold. Headlines need to be cast. I love the Sun. 2 words. He died. You have to read this. You will buy the newspaper to read this story. So, you see, sometimes in casting those headlines, I want the clicks. I want the listenership. Going back to thinking, how does it affect other people? That's where that empathy comes in.
Yeah.
They will tell you, no, leave that. It's for the developmental pages. I want people to click. I want people to... You need to be paid.
Yeah.
So, the media is supposed to be the fourth realm, not elected.
Yes.
But they're supposed to keep everybody in check.
Yeah.
But he who pays the piper
dictates the tune.
takes the tone. I might be singing this now. You don't know, maybe tomorrow when you hear me, I'll say, no, Richard, it was not like that. I didn't mean it like that. I'm not saying that is what is happening.
Yeah,
but, things happen. So, the thing is, people cast headlines. Yes, sometimes with a little empathy, sometimes not. And I tell people, if you don't wear my shoe, you don't know where it pinches. So, if you cannot tell my story, if you've never lived my story, you can't tell it. So sometimes you tell somebody that is in Lagos to write the story of Just Crisis.
Yeah.
He cannot feel the pulse.
He doesn't know.
He does not know it.
Yes.
If you've been in 2001 crisis and you watch people being burnt alive in a car, they were roasting, they were shouting, and when you saw a dog running with a human hand, you to go and eat somewhere, you will write that story and tell it from your heart.
Yeah.
So the narratives need to change. People need to be assigned to go to particular places, see particular things, tell first-hand value things. Not what they want to be told. There was a case, this international journalist came to Nigeria, and I was asked to take them around. The first question, this is Abuja, I should take them to the Muslim settlement. I said, Muslim settlement? Abuja? Yes. Okay, I should take them to the Christian settlement. I said, I beg, wait first, come. Christian settlement? Where? Abuja? Where? I said, no, this slum. I said, where? Abuja?
Slum?
I said, no, we don't have slums in Abuja.
Yeah.
We don't have Christian settlements in Abuja. Even in Nigeria, we don't have Christian settlements. We don't have Muslim. Yeah. We all live together. Maybe at some places, because we do communal living.
Yes, so
you find a lot of families in one side and then there's a particular religion. But how can you leave your country and come and the next thing you're telling me is this is what you want?
Yes, frame. Okay, so let's talk about social media. Social media rewards certainty, speed, outrage, hashtags, what does that do to having nuanced conversations about issues of land and the environment and mutual coexistence, especially amongst young people?
Okay, so what the white man said was that if you want to hide something from an African, put it in a book. So how many of us do fact checking? Anything we see online, it was Richard that put it up, so it must be true. Meanwhile, Richard went somewhere and picked it and just came and posted it. Richard just wants, I've just been monetized recently on Facebook, so I want the number of likes. I want to make some money. He does not verify. And because we have a society, or rather a system, that does not checkmate. When people were talking about the social media bill, and then people were, no, they want to, yes, it's gotten to the point we need to regulate certain things. Within the ambit of the law, because we are lawless. Marriages have been lost, houses have been burnt, crises have been started because someone wants to trend. He says what he wants to say. But I'm happy that these days people are going around. The next thing you get something from a lawyer that asks you to go and say it was not true. So people are now very careful. And then Facebook started taking down pages, and then Facebook started, banning people when people report. But then, because we have now become small-minded, let me call it that. Because we've become small-minded, we don't do the research. We just want to listen or read what anybody puts on as far as it's sensational. Take case in example. A few days ago, we killed General Gawan again. That man is a cat with 9 lives. We killed him again. Everybody, this one was putting it. And I was like, how can you say he's dead? I just saw him with the NYSC director who went to visit him. So now you're saying he's dead. And I said, anyway, that's death. He can come at any time. That was me. But then another thing says, verify. Who put what? Where is it?
Where is it coming from?
But until we have rules and regulations, this is not from a government point of view, but from a how do I put it? From a Nigerian's point of view, I want to be able to say, I read something and it is the truth. I want to be able to say that people are guided by certain ethics.
Yeah.
So that if it's not true, you will live with the consequences of police case, being locked up, whatever it is. But not the one that they say, oh, you can come, put garbage in, garbage out. And in doing all these things, we lose the essence of what exactly the narrative is.
Okay.
I said to you in 2001, I don't know why I've just been going back to that 2001. I think it's been ringing bells. Just was under crisis, had a crisis. The whole world was with Jos. A few days later, 9/11. Everybody forgot.
Forgot, yes. Yes.
Narrative, it was a religious war. It was not a religious crisis.
Yeah.
But we were told, and people kept repeating those stories. There are reports. There's the Nikki Toby report.
Yeah.
There are a lot of white papers on the plateau which have never been put to bear.
Absolutely.
So until we can sit down and have those committees, have those reports, put them in the public space, we will change the narratives. And until people also are able to hold people accountable, you put this up, it's not true. How do you correct that narrative? And then there are laws that say, if Richard goes and says, I'm a billionaire like Dangote, I will think about whether I want to sue him. Or I'll just say, yes, so I claim it in Jesus' name.
Let's move. Let's shift base a bit. We've often thought of Africa and Nigeria as being largely infrastructure deficient. Whether it's hard infrastructure like railways or even soft infrastructure like narratives that can build unity. Now, you've often suggested that storytelling itself is a form of infrastructure. So, what kind of stories lower the temperature in tense environments? And what kind of stories actually make things worse?
So stories about let me use Maiduguri, the flood, the dam.
Yes.
So it's still a flood. The dam bursts. I have a series of stories that I put out about Maiduguri, and there, the one that stood out for me was a boy. I'm still looking for the boy. I got his picture. I was talking to people who were in the security there, taking care of the naval people were there, trying to get people off. Smalley was swimming like a fish because he knew the terrain. He was the one bringing people out of all those things. So at that point, a lot of people were talking, it's now a crisis, Maiduguri, this. But we're talking about the good things that were happening. We're writing stories of, some people found love. Some people found people who got empathy to come and say, this whole market, we're giving you this, we're doing that. Empathy showed its face.
Yes.
It was not just about, we found 10 dead bodies, it's now a health hazard. No. By the time you say this, people, you find people on the streets who relate and say, these people have lost their clothes. We have clothes that we want to give out. They back it up.
Yes.
So you begin to build, in quotes, those kind of social infrastructures that help. You tell the stories that show a part that is not a he said, she said. It's like, I like Amina Mohammed when she was in MDGs. Her most popular picture was of climbing a ladder to go and look into the tank, whether there was water.
Yes.
On that trip, Amina went, we've done MDG tank, come and commission it.
Yes.
So as she was trying to commission it, she looked. Women were carrying buckets to the stream. So she asked, they said, yes, they've been using it. She said, they've been using it. She said, okay. She climbs up. It's a dry tank.
It's empty. Wow.
So, you didn't need to, she wrote the story by herself.
Yes.
Yes, they're MDG projects, but they are not functioning as they should. Because if they were, the women in the community would not be going to the stream.
Indeed.
So the stories shed light. They show a version that is not politically right.
Yeah.
That is not, they will say it should be fit for broadcast. If you walk in a newsroom, it has to follow our house style.
Yeah.
So stories don't follow house style.
Yes.
They don't, they're not fit for broadcast. It's in your own space where you tell the story of the reality that is on ground, hoping that you will find one person that will read it and it will touch the person to want to change either that society or the face of somebody, or just change something. The change might not be very big, but they say a drop of water makes an ocean. So little drops. Little drops. So I was like, when everybody, goes back, oh, I read your story. Even the people that I had not spoken to in years, everybody was calling me or sending me message or sending somebody, please, this person come. This person wants your number. And I was like, what is it? I said, it was just something I just wrote playfully. And this is it. People are now identifying. And actually, I think for the first time, I saw a lot of people accept that, yes, there's this difference. Yes, this happens. And we must address it. It is not, because I hear when they say there clashes, they put it all under religion. Nobody ever turns and look at it that it's communal. Nobody ever turns and look at it that it's an identity. When there's a clash about land, they look, oh, that person is a Muslim. Nobody is telling you it's land.
It's land.
Because the person will put it, the Muslims attacked
Christians. Yeah.
There's an attack, 2 people fought on their farms and they did what they did. Fulani headsmen. So no, and then everybody carries the narrative. And then you now go, oh, okay. Because nobody is telling the story. And I've told a lot of people, nobody can tell our stories like us.
Absolutely.
We must tell our stories. We must put our pain in black and white. I've always thought about the Civil War in a particular way. But reading some people's accounts and listening to some people tell stories, I've realized that the perception they give us of the Civil War really was not like that. I'm not saying lives were not lost. I'm not saying it was a senseless war as far as I am concerned. But there were some facts that never came to bear. And I pray that one day, somebody will take his time, who is more knowledgeable. It's not for me to talk about because it's not something I could say it's hearsay or it's people telling their own accounts. But I pray that one day somebody will put that story to real perspective. And I'm happy now we have history back in our curriculum in schools, because I don't know who took that thing off. At least students will be getting 1A, if nothing.
Yeah, you've spoken a little bit about this idea of solutions journalism, where it's not, you don't just say, oh, everything has gone to pieces, people are dead, you should also look at it more nuanced. What are the happy stories? Are people getting married? Yes, there's a communal crisis. Yes, there was a flood, but people are also getting married. Children are also coming together to touch their school roof that fell apart.
Yeah, like in the one in Maiduguri.
Exactly.
One of the NGO girls met one of the locals and they have a baby now.
Wow.
They have a baby now.
Yeah.
She was on the boat. He was like, she was like, fine girl. So you want to be saved or do you want to be doing fine girl? And everything. And the banter continued. Yeah. And today, they have a baby. A year later.
Oh, that's lovely. So let's go to young people now.
Am I young?
No, we're not so young. Yeah, but young people are at the center. Nigeria famously has a youth bulge where there are more young people than, up to maybe 70% are under 35, So those are the statistics that we play with. So if young people were to intervene in the environment conflict nexus through storytelling, whether it's writing, making short films, or posting about it, what should they be most careful not to do?
So you see, we as Nigerians, are very sensitive. I know that I've said, for me, I'm very playful, so I say things. You find somebody who thinks that, your perception of how you look at things is offensive to the person.
Yeah.
Like you could tell somebody, see how pretty you are, you're a queen. A king should just come and sweep you off. And the person gets offended. Or you tell somebody, so our sensibilities, yes, people go through a lot. And I used to say a lot of times that some things are not fair. But they told me I shouldn't say it's not fair. I should say it's not right. So what is right for me might not be right for you.
True.
Out of training, anytime I needed to move to a new environment, what I was required to do was learn about the people. Learn their language, learn their cultures, learn what is offensive to them. Like you go to a palace, you know that your head in the north cannot be higher than... No, not covered. It cannot be higher than that of the king.
Of course.
The king does not speak directly to you.
Yes.
For you to sit on the same level with the king, you must have some sort of status. So you learn all those things. I tried to break kola in the east. Aru, which means
abomination.
Abomination. That was what I heard.
Yes.
I said, what? It is sacrilege. We cannot be here, and a woman will break kola nuts. And I'm like, where I come from is there. I'll speak whatever it is and go.
Yeah.
But for them, it's a ceremony.
Yeah.
So you must. So those tiny things are the things that when these young people come, they must begin to look at. They must understand what they're posting, what their audience is, who it is for, what it is for, and put it in that context. Because a comma, a full stop, a question mark changes something. So whatever they're going to put, you want to talk about like a lot of people were talking about climate change. Yeah. It's a lie. They just want to make money. They just want to, the Nigerian government, that's how we used to do all those things. Are we not all experiencing it now?
True.
Has the sun not come lower? I hear it rained in Lagos a few days ago. Strange. Why is rain falling? Mm-hmm. We're supposed to have Hamatan. It's supposed to be cold everywhere. Yeah. We're looking for where AC is.
Where AC is. Mm-hmm.
We're not feeling it. It's not as dry as it should be.
Yeah.
Wells are drying up. You need to charge some lakes. Everything is going the other way. We've seen people coming from Morocco. They're facing drought. They want to come into Nigeria and come and say, look, what do you have? Let's see how we can get what we're able to get.
Yes.
So we're seeing countries and saying that. So until we're able to give these young people direction, for them to be able to say, look, before I write, before I create content, who is this content for? What is it for? Is it factual?
Yeah.
We won't get it right. Because we just want, when we tell people, it's like they say everybody lives on social media. Mm-hmm. Who I am on social media is actually not who I am in real life. So if you see me tomorrow, you might just see me tying one head tie. And you might not even know that it's me. Yeah. But maybe because I'm coming, or I'm going to the gram, I'm going to be on air, you'll see me all dolled up.
Yeah.
So why do I do this? Or why do you do this? Because you need to be presentable. I want to sell something to somebody, and I need to appeal to the person. So I can imagine if I was here and I was wearing just that wrapper, one wrapper, with a net and a
toothpick.
No. Chewing stick in my mouth. Anything I say, would anybody take me seriously?
No.
So it's just getting them to understand that context needs to be put in. How you put it, how you say it, what audience are you trying to target? Because if you're trying to talk about climate change, yes, you want to tell the people, the policy makers. So you have to put it in a particular way. You want to talk to people how to begin to care for their environment, how to plant, how to do waste management. You cannot tell me that now you want to put it for people in Maraba and you carry me and I'll go and be like, there's going to be a lot of erosion. So what we need to do is we need to get all these things put here. There's this bin for plastic, this bin for... When you leave, somebody will even carry the bin and go.
Yeah.
Or if you go and say, my people come, you see this kind of thing. You see this plastic box. Maybe you don't dey here since. Okay, we want to make it in such a way that you see this plastic, we'll be able to get this land. We will fix this place. Of course, by the time I come, I will have my bottles in one place, my paper in one place, because I'm communicating appropriately. Yeah. I've looked at them. I've found what works for them. I also remembering that you see in those places, those bottles is money, because they will sell Zobo inside.
Yeah.
They will sell Kunu Aya inside. So how do I convince them to bring it to me? I put a tag that if it is heavy like this, I will give you money. So you can imagine, instead of me selling Kunu Aya, I can make money from packing the bottle.
Absolutely. Okay, you've mentioned the environment. So looking ahead, if environmental pressures continue to intensify, climate stress, land scarcity, displacement, for example, what role do you think young people will be forced to play, whether they like it or not?
So you see, when you say land displacement and all those, it's the Oyibo man calls it urbanization.
Yeah.
So we have cows in Abuja today roaming around because of urbanization. The grazing routes. What happened? We built a city on it. And we forgot to take it somewhere else. You took people's land that they normally farm for food, and you built all sorts, and you forgot that you also need to give them a source, to eat. So we have all these things with proper town planning, proper communication, having conversations around all of this. You would now find that there's a way to manage all these things. There are new ways of farming, where somebody has food in bags like this. Under there's fish, somewhere there's chicken, or the chicken is feeding the fish.
Yeah.
There are different ways of being innovative that would still... Now I went to one house. The man at his backyard had sacks that he had yam.
Oh, wow.
Everywhere in that place is concrete. It's just those sacks that is yam. So it's now we need to think outside the box. We need to move. It's like one of the things we do is we're trying to get farmers to move from subsistent farming to farming that they can make money from it.
Yeah.
Hauwa and Cutlass is not going to do that for you. You have to be mechanized.
Yeah.
So you have to think outside the box. You have to think, then when we were growing up, Agric was shifting cultivation. You leave this land and go here.
Yes.
You do this.
Yes.
Then they say, that's bad. Let's do crop rotation.
Yes.
You put beans here, you put this, you put... So now, go with the trends. Once we go with the trends, accept our reality. Because that is what we refuse to do. We do not want to accept our reality. Accept our reality. Go with the trends. Speak up. Get policies to speak for us. When I say policies to speak for us, in some part of, let me use the Engaging Borders project, 250, I'm just approximating, don't quote me, 250,000 in the north will weed your land, put fertilizer, put the seed, get you to harvest. You go to the southwest, the ground there, with 250 you might not even be able to even till the ground because of the shrubs, the roots and everything.
Yes.
So do you now appropriate the same amount to the same places?
No.
So you must make policies that are fit in round holes, in round pegs.
Yes.
Not policies that are just general policies. It's like someone says, Microsoft came to Bauchi to teach women how to do Excel and Word. They went, nobody came out. They kept waiting, where the women? What happened? They now got a big hall and got only the women from there and went to the mosque and everywhere to the emir to tell him, we want to train these women. And the women came. So it's not about reinventing a way. There's already a way. It is the will to go about doing it. So we must think about outside the box.
So, in closing, when you say Plateau, yeah, when you say Plateau shall rise, what does it mean to you? Not as a slogan, but in the sense of a lived hope. Plateau shall rise.
Sometimes when I tell my son about my life in Jos, he says, which Jos? This was a Jos that we didn't have fences.
Yeah.
If a boy was toasting me and we live on the same street and there was no flower in his house, he will look at the neighbor's house. She has flowers. He will look it and bring it for you.
Yeah.
This was a Jos that there was no religious divide, no tribal divide. This was one that spoke as one. You could see the unity, you could see the strength, you could see the integrity, you could see, it was not called Home of Peace and Tourism for nothing.
Yeah.
The Plateau person is warm.
Yeah.
That's my description of home. Once you go to Jos, you want to keep going to Jos. It's like everybody we've told about Jos, that we've taken to Jos, always goes, even without us safe, now they go.
They go.
So I want to see a Plateau put itself back on the map. Then if you will talk about food, it's Plateau. You will talk about beautiful people, it's Plateau. You will talk about peace, it's Plateau. You will talk about tourism, it's Plateau. You will talk about people who, I think, in the North Central, Plateau has had the most generals.
Yeah.
Intellectual people,
Yeah.
Plateau. Beautiful people, Plateau. Yeah. So I want to see, let me not keep listing and then they'll say I'm hyping it too much. But for me, when I say Plateau rise, I want to see us come back to that point that we are together. Because they say united you stand, divided you fall. A united Plateau. One of the gubernatorial aspirants then, Pajok, says you cannot clap with one hand. You must clap with two hands. So I want to see a Plateau that we're clapping with two hands. We're raising beyond that narrative that they have said nothing good can come from there. We're going there, we're putting ourselves back on the map. We're on the map, but we are not telling our stories. We need to tell our stories. We need to come back and be there. We need to be a force to be reckoned. And the only way we can do that is, first and foremost, make it a project to ourselves. Plateau first. Not Angas, not Birom, not Ankwe, not Miriam. Plateau first. Does it benefit Plateau? Yes. Before I think, does it benefit the Birom? So Plateau first. Once we get to the point that we've brought up ourselves to we're at that point that it's all about the Plateau, whoever it is, whether the person is a Birom person, whether it's a Tarok person, is he from Plateau? Fine. Plateau first. How do we get funding here? Oh, this thing we want to do will not work in my own local government, it will work in that local.
Yes.
Nope. Is it for the Plateau? Bring it. Oh, there's this position, we need somebody from Plateau, and you look, the person from my own place is not as qualified as the other person from the other place. Plateau first. Until we get to that point, until we do that, the Plateau will not rise. But I'm believing and I am very hopeful that with a few of us, the Plateau will rise. In my time, the Plateau will rise. And we will dance the happy dance.
Thank you so much, Hauwa Noroh Ali. It's been a pleasure to interview you.
Thank you.
Throughout this conversation, one thing has been clear. The environment is never just land or water. It is memory, identity, and meaning. When resources are mismanaged, it is not only ecosystems that suffer, it is relationships, language, and trust. For young people, the task ahead is not simply to speak louder, but to speak differently, to resist the easy stories that divide, to question the narratives that turn neighbors into enemies, and to tell fuller, more honest stories about who we are and how we share what we have. The environment conflict nexus is also a storytelling challenge, and in choosing how you speak, write, film, and listen, you help decide whether the future is shaped by fear or by care. Thank you.